Hello everyone. So let's continue with some more examples of finite groups. In the first one, I have given you all the set G as 1 minus 1, I minus I, and here I is the imaginary unit, so I square is minus 1. Again in this example, dot signifies multiplication of complex numbers. So just like we did the earlier problem for 1 omega square, I want you all to draw the composition table for this and then show that this becomes a group. Also verify that this is an abelian group and this is a finite group of order 4. We will look at the next example. Here I have taken 4 matrices. I is the identity matrix of order 2. So it's 1, 0, 0, 1, and therefore it's obvious what is minus I. Minus I will be minus 1, 0, 0, minus 1. Also the matrix A is given, so you know what is minus A, and in this example the dot stands for matrix multiplication. So let us show that this is a group and we will also verify whether it is an abelian group. So we draw a composition table. We list the elements of G in a heading row and heading column. Put the operation given in this corner. Now I will have to compute 16 products of matrices, and I'm really not interested in spending so much time over this example, so I need to take a few shortcuts. Now that is going to be based on some of the properties that we know. I stands for the identity matrix, so I know in advance that identity matrix into any other matrix is going to give me the same matrix. So I can directly write down the first row. Identity multiplied by any other matrix will give me that row. With minus I, only the signs are going to change. So instead of I, I'll get minus I, I'll get plus I here, I'll get minus A here, and I'll get plus A here. Now let's look at the third row. This place is for A into I, so this will be A. This is for A into minus I, so it will be minus A. Now the only product that I really need to compute is A into A. So I look at A into A, which is 1, 0, 0, minus 1 into 1, 0, 0, minus 1. That works out to be 1, 0, 0, plus 1. So this becomes identity. And once I get this element, it's easy to know what is the next element, because next element is A multiplied by minus A, but I don't need to do these calculations again. This will be minus of A into A, and I know that A into A is I. So this element will be minus I, and therefore with minus A again only signs are going to change. So minus A, minus I, plus I. Now look at the composition table. No blanks, no double entries, and all entries in the body of the table are from the given set. So it is a binary operation, or we can say that closure property is satisfied. Also, once again, this is a standard operation, matrix multiplication. We know that matrix multiplication is associative, so we don't need to anyway, from the table it would not be very easy to verify this property. Then we look for identity. Look at the row corresponding to I. It is the same as the heading row. So I is my identity element as expected. Then I look at the fourth property. Fourth property is to check whether every element has an inverse. So for that, I draw a table which will display the information conveniently for me. Let me see if I can get an inverse for every element. Remember, identity is I. So if I want inverse of I must find out where exactly I is in this row, and element directly above that in the heading row will become the inverse. Now for minus I get the identity here, and element directly above that in the heading row is minus I. So inverse of minus I is minus I. For A, I get the identity here, and element above that in the heading row is A. For minus A, I get the identity here. So inverse of minus A is minus A. So you will notice that every element has an inverse with respect to the given operation, and therefore this set is a group. Further, we come to the fifth property. The elements are placed symmetrically about the diagonal. Remember, I told you there's another way of doing it. Make sure that the first row is identical with the first column, second row with the second column, third row with the third column, and so on. So that's another way of checking the commutative property. So from the table, it's clear that commutative property is also satisfied, and therefore this is an abelian group. This also is an example of a finite group, and in this group the order is equal to 4. There is yet another very interesting group of order 4 which you all must know. And that is Klein's 4 group. This set is consisting of 4 elements denoted by E, A, B, C, and star is an operation on this set for which, directly the formula is not given, but the composition table is given to us. So composition table is given, and from the composition table, of course, the only problem is with associative property, and it's not an easy task to verify the associative property, but take my word for it, it will be associative, and you can verify all other properties. So this becomes a group. This is also an abelian group, and the order of this group is 4. So this is again a standard example which we come across in group theory. So it makes sense to remember how the composition table is given. This is also called it is also written in literature like this, because in German V is pronounced as Ver. So when you talk about the vehicle, the car Volkswagen, though it is written with it starts with a V, it's pronounced as Volkswagen, because in German V is pronounced as F, and in German 4 is written this way, V-I-E-R. So it's a 4 group, that means it's a group containing 4 elements. There's one more example that I would like to do here. Look at Z8 with respect to multiplication modulo 8. Is this a group? Now I am deliberately doing this result, but why exactly I am doing this result, I will be mentioning slightly towards the end. So look at the elements of Z8. We have 0 bar, 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar, 5 bar, 6 bar, and 7 bar. At your end, pause the video and write down the composition table for this. I am also going to pause my video and I am going to write down what is the composition table of Z8 with respect to multiplication modulo 8. So I'm back with the composition table. I hope you all have also constructed the composition table for this set with respect to this operation. Now let's quickly discuss the properties. All entries in the body of the table are from the given set. So definitely multiplication modulo 8 is a binary operation on Z8. And we had mentioned earlier that multiplication modulo n for any n is an associative operation. So specifically multiplication modulo 8 will also be associative. Then row corresponding to 1 bar is the same as the heading row. So 1 bar is my identity. This is our third property. And let's look at inverses. I'm doing this example specifically to illustrate what happens to inverses with respect to multiplication in Zn. So we have 0 bar, we have 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar, 5 bar, 6 bar and 7 bar. If you look at the row corresponding to 0 bar, I do not get the identity anywhere in this row. That means 0 bar does not have an inverse. For 1 bar, I get the identity here. That means inverse of 1 bar is going to be 1 bar. Again look at 2 bar. We do not get the identity in this row. So this does not have an inverse. For 3 bar, yes, I get the identity in this position. An element directly above that in the heading row is 3 bar. So inverse of 3 bar is 3 bar. Then again 4 bar does not have an inverse. 5 bar, inverse of 5 bar is going to be 5 bar. 6 bar, you can verify, does not have an inverse. And for 7 bar, inverse is 7 bar. So for multiplication modulo n, specifically in this example when n is 8, we notice that some elements have inverses for multiplication, some elements do not have inverses for multiplication. Now it is not very surprising that 0 bar does not have an inverse for multiplication, because anyways 0 bar into anything will always give you 0 bar, it will never give you 1 bar. So 0 bar cannot have an inverse with respect to multiplication. But apart from 0 bar also there are elements which do not have inverses. And if you look at the pattern, look at the ones first which have an inverse 1, 3, 5 and 7. Now 1, 3, 5 and 7 are all relatively prime to 8. But if you look at 2, 4 and 6, 2, 4 and 6 are not relatively prime to 8. That is why in an earlier lecture I had mentioned that an element of Zn will have an inverse with respect to multiplication modulo n if and only if it is relatively prime to n, or in other words it is a prime residue class. At that stage I had not proved the result. I had said you can prove it, you can try it out on your own, because this is a result that you've studied in the first year class. However, at least from this example it is clear that this property does indeed work. So with respect to multiplication, Zn does have a problem. It does not become a group. However, if I take only Zn star, and remember what was Zn star? Zn star was the set of residue classes. Zn star was the set of residue classes, prime residue classes of integers modulo n. So it will contain only those residue classes where the integer below the bar is relatively prime to n. And this, with respect to multiplication modulo n, will be a group. It will be an abelian group. It will also be a finite group. And in the preliminaries, that is chapter 0, we had mentioned that this is a group of order 5. Thank you.